There's this moment where you're scrolling before bed, totally fine. And then you see your friends at a concert you didn't even know was happening. And suddenly, you're spiraling, refreshing their profiles like a detective looking for clues. Meanwhile, someone else sees the exact same post and just double taps and keeps scrolling. Why do some of us feel physically sick when we're left out, while others barely even register it? Turns out, FOMO isn't just about missing the party. It's about what your brain thinks it means when you're not invited. Because FOMO, the fear of missing out, isn't shallow. It's not about being dramatic or needy. It's a real psychological response tied directly to your self-esteem, your sense of belonging, and your nervous system. And for some people, it hits harder than others. Let's break down why. First, let's define it. FOMO is the feeling or perception that other people are having more fun, experiencing cooler things, or living a better life than you. It can happen when you see your best friend at a party you weren't invited to, or when you see a stranger on Instagram doing something you wish you were doing. Clinical psychologist Amy Sullivan says we can't escape it anymore. We have access to everything, 24/7, on multiple platforms. You're not just missing out once, you're reminded of it constantly, in real time, across every device you own. And here's the thing, FOMO isn't new. It's just repackaged. It used to be called keeping up with the Joneses, the pressure to match your neighbor's wealth, status, or success. Now, it's just louder, faster, and way more personal. But why does it hit some people harder than others? Research shows that people with anxiety or depression are at higher risk for FOMO. A 2017 study found that more daily social media use correlates with a higher chance of having an anxiety disorder. A 2022 study suggests that depressive and anxious symptoms worsen the longer you spend scrolling. And here's the cruel irony. People with anxiety or depression often withdraw from real-life situations, so they end up connecting primarily through social media, which is exactly where FOMO thrives. Dr. Sullivan explains it like this: the human experience is all about connection. We have an innate need to belong. But when you're already struggling with self-worth and your connection to others is happening mostly online, you're looking at a highlight reel and comparing it to your behind-the-scenes footage. That gap? That's where FOMO lives. Now let's talk about what FOMO actually does to your body. This isn't just emotional, it's physical. You might experience stomach tension, nausea, headaches, body aches, heart palpitations, increased heart rate. Mentally, you might get stuck in a loop of intrusive thoughts and negative self-talk. You start questioning your worth. You start wondering what's wrong with you. And if this becomes disruptive to your daily life, your social interactions, your work, your relationships, it's time to address it. So what do you do? Let's start with recognizing your feelings and setting limits. When you start feeling physical or psychological symptoms, that's your signal to take a break. This could mean deactivating your accounts temporarily, only checking social media on weekends, or setting app time limits on your phone. Dr. Sullivan emphasizes this is especially important for younger people who are still learning to recognize their own triggers. Next, identify your triggers. If seeing a certain friend group hanging out without you sends you into a spiral, stop searching for it. Reach out to those friends directly and talk about how you're feeling. Try not to let jealousy take over. Instead, remind yourself that your friends having other friends is a good thing, and you have people who care about you too. Here's a big one. Develop your sense of self. Dr. Sullivan says when you start to see yourself as a complex individual, you recognize what you bring to the world and to your relationships. You recognize your worth. Try doing a value-based assessment. Make a list of everything that brings you joy, confidence, and fulfillment. Then make a list of what doesn't serve you, What makes you feel bad about yourself or harms your self-worth? This gives you a roadmap for what to hold on to and what to let go of. And here's something crucial. Evaluate the reality of social media. What you're seeing is just a sliver of what's actually happening. Most of the time, you're only seeing half the picture. Everyone has struggles and challenges behind the scenes. You're comparing your full reality to someone else's curated highlight. That's not a fair fight. Finally, if you're stuck, seek help. A psychologist who specializes in interpersonal therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy can help you manage FOMO, understand your triggers, and chase your dreams in reality, not online. There's no shame in asking for support. In fact, it's one of the smartest things you can do. So the next time you're scrolling and you feel that knot in your stomach, remember this. FOMO isn't about what you're missing. It's about what your brain believes about your worth. And your worth isn't measured by who invited you where. Your worth is measured by how you show up for yourself, online and off. You don't have to be everywhere. You just have to be present in your own life. And that's more than enough.